All right, yogis. So this is gentle yoga. Remember, everything is easy, soothing, relatively calming exercise and physical activity. Okay. So we're going to start standing today, guys, and we will have a nice second half of the practice on our back. So when we do start standing, how about you take a moment here, yogis, and just kind of like do some subtle movements. I like to suggest like lifting your heels and toes and, really just feeling your feet, kind of like we do in Shavasana on our back, just some little subtle connections to the body, rolling the shoulders back and down, okay? And remember, our fundamental is posture when we are standing here. So take a moment and try to stand as tall as possible, a slight engaging of the thighs and the butt, lifting of the core, rolling the shoulders back and down. The back of the neck is lengthening, the head is pulling back, you're squeezing your pelvic floor, pulling your belly in, and the tongue is lifting to the top of the mouth, the lips are sealed. And then a nice deep breath in your nose, feeling the breath come from the feet, up the spine to the crown of the head. And then a deep exhale. You feel that grounding exhale. The breath goes from up to down. Just the last breath or two here, please. So today's first exercise is going to be the Qigong shake. Usually you do this for multiple minutes. We'll do 1 minute. You're just going to bend your knees a little bit, and you're going to do this bounce and kind of shake your arms, shake your shoulders. Okay? You can like jump a little. The real one is actually like a little jump. They also do this one too, where you go side to side. But I want you to think like kind of like fast kind of movement here, shaking it out. About another 30, 40 seconds. That's actually a thing in Qigong. It's like one of the first things they do in the morning. So after that, if you hold very still now, you can feel like a lot of pulsing energy. Really nice thing to do for waking the body up. Second movement is supposed to represent walking. Just think marching in place, okay? Arms start bent, palms face each other. Inhale, right knee lifts, right arm goes back, left arm goes forward. Inhale, exhale. Last few. I'm just trying to emphasize movement in this first part of class, yogis. If you notice, it's the same muscular path action as walking. As my left leg goes forward in walking, my left arm goes back. So sometimes we not realizing we're going like this. That's not how you walk. No one walks like this, right? You walk like this, the counterbalance. So that's what we're practicing. Marching in place, okay? It's really good. It actually can make you a more skillful walker, and it will loosen up a lot of those things that are tight from walking. Next movement, you guys know this one. It's a great little loosener for the torso. I'm going to keep moving here, yogis. The feet widen, the knees bend, and here I go, okay? Come on, loosen up that body with movement today. Remember, in meditation class, they do it like this. You literally practice the subtle rotation, and then you meditate. The subtle movement can help not let your mind wander. But in more of the kind of fitnessy approach here, you let it a lot more loose, and you bend the knees a little bit more, and you pivot and you shift, weight side to side. Last moments here, please. So my point is there's many ways to do it. It's not like one is better than the other. It just depends on your intention and what you're working on and what you need today, all right? Next movement now, the last few there, it was a big torso right there. We're gonna go big into the arms. Now, I mentioned basically the most fundamental two exercises known to man are called deadlift and weight carry. Just think of like working on the farm. You would bend over, pick something up, and then you'd walk with it, all right? That's the most fundamental. So in a sense, we're trying to do that, but we're not gonna walk with it, right? The feet go wide, turned open. I'm gonna bend the knees. Look at my knees. Do they go in? No. I press the outer edge of my feet down, okay, and the big toe, but my knees stay out. I'm gonna bend those knees, reach low, inhale like I'm standing up with weight, but I'm gonna reach the arms up today and kind of back, okay? Exhale, inhale. And as I go up now, I'm stretching my abdomen upwards, okay? Go ahead. Now, just to be clear, I always talk about lunges and hinges and squatting being fundamentals. I consider it second tier fundamental. You'll hear mixed opinions on that. But this is, just to be clear, mostly squat, subtle hinge, right? So if you were to pick something up in the farm, you would kind of go here, right? See how there's a little hinge? I grab it, pick it up, okay? So it is a slight hinge, just to be clear. It's not a big hinge. Last few, please. Some of you guys are already done, no worries. Depends on how you're feeling. You don't need to do a ton of these, okay? All right, yogi, so I want to get back to the core. And this is our first lunge. We did the high knees. And I'm going to keep those feet wide here. It's almost like martial arts. And I really want you to get creative here. I want you to get dance-like, okay? So I'm going to bend the knees. My hands are going to kind of start here in a neutral. Now, as I pivot on the feet, I turn left. I turn my left hip open. I turn my right hip down and in. I push my right hand, pull my left hand. So if I can show you, inhale, exhale. If my right knee's forward, I pull my right arm back, okay? Inhale, exhale. But look, yogis, it's not stiff and rigid. I can reach up a little bit, okay? I can reach down a little bit, okay? I can do it a little faster. Get lower. Most of the stuff you do in a gym, most of the things even you do in yoga, it's way too linear and structured. The body really never moves linearly. Like it rarely. You have to really like slow down and think about it if you want to do that. Getting in and out of your car, super asymmetrical, alinear. Moving around the kitchen. I want you to move that body, everything, pivoting on legs. There's abduction, adduction. There's knee, there's hip rotations. There's extension and flexion. There is literally, in this movement, there is every action of the hips. You know, there can be more in the core too, right? So there's rotation, obviously, but bending forward and up, down, there's your forward and back plane, moving a little laterally, okay? Your arms are doing a lot of different things too. So last few moments here, don't forget this type of movement. It's kind of like there's like a little moments of warrior one, there's little moments of warrior two, there's little moments of like goddess pose to give it a little bit more structure there. But the idea is to move your body a lot in free ways, okay? Like I said, the fundamentals are only the tip of a very, very, very big iceberg, okay? So I don't want you to get locked on those structured movements too much, all right? So I've been focusing on that the last few months as hammering that idea home. All right, let's keep going, guys. Now stand up for a moment, a big movement. How about we just stand sturdy, okay? Back to posture. Let's just do a couple dynamic movements in the neck and the shoulders. Nice and slow. I want you to think cat-cow to start. You're just gonna inhale, lift your chin up. Exhale, tuck the chin. Maybe pausing anywhere it feels tight. Inhale, as I lift the chin, the mouth is closed, the tongue at the top of the mouth. Exhale, tuck the chin. Just one or two more here, please. Isolating your neck. Okay, and then you'll neutralize second neck movement, it's neck rotation. Look over your left shoulder, look over your right shoulder. It's like you're checking your blind spots, or you're crossing the street. You look left, you look right. We're not laterally bending, we're rotating cervical spinal joints. Keep moving, yogis, don't worry. We're gonna do a lot of stretching and stillness soon here, okay? Third neck movement, these are all the isolated ranges of motion in your neck. Left ear, left shoulder. Now I go lateral, or a side lengthening movement. Right ear, right shoulder. Left ear, left shoulder. A lot of people would consider this dynamic type more functional than just stretching, even though there is a place for stretching. If you tend to stretch the neck moving, or tend to stretch the hold, it's good to move it sometimes. This is a way we don't move the neck often. Okay. And then how can we put all the isolated movements together? Circling. Okay. And I want you to think of this like that lunge where we did it creative. So you start kind of circling, but then you might even pause here, or then you might go back and pause here, and then you might go here and pause. So it's kind of like a lateral and a lean back. So you're going to move that neck in a more exploratory fashion here for a good another 30 seconds. Just notice any patterns. If you're like circling one way, do the opposite. If you tend to be hunched forward, try to get back. I've tried to explain this idea. They call it some nicknames. It's not like the real technical term, but it's an atlas pinch. We have the top vertebrae. It's called your atlas. It's the vertebrae that connects to your skull. And what happens if the head is forward and down? They call it the atlas pinch, where the atlas is sliding and go like that. There's this pinch that happens in the spinal cord in the front. Those are like your voluntary motor neurons. So you lose full body strength, you get like full body weakness, your energy can be lower, you can get way more like full body pain. People worry about sciatica. Pinching your spinal cord as it exits your skull sciatica doesn't matter compared to that. It's minimal, okay? Because if you have sciatica on top of this, it's like a double whammy there. It's like an exponential pinch. So we want to work the head back a lot, okay? So if you tend to be in this thing where the head's forward, you pull the head back and you lift the chin up, the tongue, okay? Nice job there. So take a moment, shake it out. So let's keep working with that. These are the scapulae now. Works with the neck. Look at this. Sometimes people in the gym pick up weights, trying to get those big traps, and they go up, down. Same thing, but loosening up. Look at that. I'm telling you to go a little bit faster, okay? This is a place that's very stuck in a lot of people. I know because I do massage therapy and I get to palpate, a lot of bodies. I get to touch a lot of people's bodies. And it's really just empirical evidence of conditions. You can say your traps aren't tight, but if I touch them and they are, look at it, I'm moving them up and down. Okay. All right, next thing here is the other isolated action. Arms forward, watch. I pull my shoulders back, I spread them. Look at my spine isn't going forward, my head is not moving, shoulders aren't going up and down, arms aren't moving. And there's none of this. Watch, I pull my shoulders back, I spread my back. So now the scapulae were going up and down. In the first part, lifting your shoulders to your ears, your shoulder blades are lifting up and down, they're sliding. Now, your shoulder blades are squeezing back and around and then spreading on the outer back. Shoulder blades are squeezing toward the spine and then they're spreading. Does everyone get it? I don't know. Some of you need to work on that one, it looks like. We do this a lot in tabletop. If I may show one quick demo. It looks like this. Notice my arms don't straighten. It looks like my spine might be doing something, but it's really not, okay? So that's another way we do this. Now, let's say we put them all together, please. Shoulders back and down, up and back, forward and up. down and forward. Big circle. And these are all part of the scapular flossing. No weight, moving the scapula. In modern anatomy, scapular movements aren't considered like a major joint. They're not even considered like a joint, right? But I think that's why it goes overlooked. We're always thinking shoulders, and we tend to forget about, just like pelvic tilt, we think in hips and core, but we tend to lack awareness in pelvic tilts. We're about to go there in the dynamic pelvic tilt, okay? Now, nice job with your scapular flossing. Make sure you do both directions. And then I want to go into our arms. Then we're going to be back in our hips and core, legs. And we're pretty much almost done with anything standing. So arms. I want to keep it simple to start. We already did this, but I want to do a last few. You're going to inhale your arms up, exhale them back. So it looks like this, yogis. My palms kind of stay facing each other. So it's a swinging, flexion, extension, opposite actions. It's dynamic stretching, really good stuff. Arms are pretty complex, right? Because it's the ball and socket joint, the most complex joints in the body. So arms go down by side now. Think like jumping jacks. Hey, if you want to do a little jumping jacks, that's good too, right? Dynamic movements. Inhale, palms together, here. Here's an easy jumping jack, look. If you don't like jumping now, move that body today. Last week we did yin yoga. So you laid around for an hour, right? And held big stretches. Let's look at what we need. We laid around and be still, we'll move today, okay? Okay, so there's two ranges of motion in the arms. Horizontal adduction, arms here. Palms are gonna face forward, look. Right arm on top, open, left arm on top. So from the side, just in case, here, right? Let it go, guys. As you open, feel your back activate. As you exhale, feel your chest tighten. Back fly, chest fly. This is another overlooked range of motion. We tend to be good at stuff like this and this. You know, people get this one, but they don't realize that this is actually very, very different. It's an isolated range of motion in the chest and the arms. So don't forget that. Now, rotation, guys. Fourth, isolated. Last one, arms wide. Right palm up to the back, left palm down to the back. Just to be clear, it is opposites. You pause and then you switch. Right palm down, back, left palm up, back. Switch, switch. Pausing, wear tight. Another good 20, 30 seconds, please. Rotation of joints is a terribly undertrained thing. You know, in those linear fundamentals, we don't get into that, right? So like doing rotator cuff, you know, hip rotation stuff. Luckily, we got some in here. Okay. Don't forget those rotations. Last part here. Let's put it all together. Circle those arms. You can start a little slower, smaller. Okay. Gradually build it up. You can let one go a little bit. I pretty much do arm circles like almost every day, especially anytime I'm working out. My shoulders feel tight. You know, I'll kind of just start by like loosening up the shoulders. I'm going the second direction, okay? Nice, yeah, move those arms. So the ball and socket joint, right? You have 4 of them, shoulders and hips, and it's this, and we're going like this now. You know, first one was going forward and back. Second one was going out and up. Third one was going here. Okay, and now rotating was going like this. And then now we're going like this. Let's open up those shoulders. All right, so now I mentioned, let's bring it down to the hips. Pelvic tilt, abduction, adduction. Feet wide, please. I want you to think like dancing, where you're bopping those hips side to side. Now, look, my head really isn't moving to start, just so you can see it. Okay, you can bend your knees a little too, but if your feet are too close, look, it doesn't really work in here, okay? It's the hip joint, so you have to neutralize the neck of the femur so the pelvic can move. So there's a lateral tilt. Left, right, left, right. Now, we'll just go right to dynamic. If you wanted to try it, you could cat-cow, anterior tilt, posterior tilt. Notice my knees are bent. Movement therapy today, all right? Movement is medicine. Here we go. Now all the complexities. Bend the knee, big circle. So you go anterior tilt, left, right, lateral left, posterior tilt, lateral right. And then look, if you want to go crazy a little bit, you move that upper body, but I do want the hips to be a little bit more of the focus to start. I realized, I said it earlier, I'm hammering home this idea of like your fundamentals, and people are getting really kind of stuck on them now. That's only a little piece, all right? It's fundamentals. Everything's built atop that. The base, the foundation, structure. But this is more, what we need to be doing very often as well, okay? And things like dance are fantastic at it. So here we go, guys. Last thing, we're almost done with standing. Let's do our little calf raises, lifting your heels up and putting them down. Be careful, this can strain your arch of your foot, especially if you're not new to it. The big toe or the arch can get strained here. So you start with just little lifts. With practice, you're gonna lift a little higher and even pause for a moment, and then lower down, just kind of tap, do these little calf raises, okay? If you want a little extra, as I do my calf raise, both lift, as I drop the heels, one ball, you flex the foot. So that's gonna activate your shin, all right? So it's calf raise, I call it a shin raise. Calf raise, shin raise. Opposite action of the calf raise, okay? There's another fun variation if you wanna try it. It's constrain the outer ankle, outer edge of feet down, calf raise, heel down, outer edge of feet, roll down. Big toe down, calf raise, outer edge, calf raise. That's a really nice one as well. We also do this one where you lift your right heel, flex your left foot. Lift your left heel, flex your opposite foot. So just in case you couldn't see, left foot, dorsiflexion, right foot, plantar flexion. We do that like bridge sometimes. It's a little kind of weird one, right? All right, guys, so this is our final standing movement. I want to show you, and then I'm going to let you go free. After this, we are making our way down to the ground. We'll do one or two things table, restorative yoga after that. So last movement, if you'll watch me for a moment. To start, shift weight to left foot. Right foot forward, back. Right foot angled. So this is a pivot. It's kind of like if you fall, the foot has to step out and catch, push back. I go right, I go back. I am shifting weight, okay? I go back. I even go back across a little bit. But look, it can go like this. Like you can put it together. Look, step forward, step back. Step wide, step back. Step across, step back. Boom, 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 okay? We do it like this too, in case you're interested. Look, side, side, side. Look, angled, forward, back, even crossed a little bit. Okay, so if you want to get really into it, we're doing something, we don't do this very often, yoga, it's good stuff though. You notice I keep switching the angle slightly, so I'm very well rounded in all stability. Go ahead. I love gentle yoga because there's such a vast amount of things that we can do. You know, some people might not say, oh, this is not yoga. It's not down dog, up dog flow, but yoga is not even anything physical anyway. I know the modern people think it is, but it's not. It's a little stepping stone and part of our big life puzzle, but it's only a piece of the puzzle. Okay. Uh, but this can absolutely be yoga, body awareness and presence and a type of, meditative mind, body, and breath experience. Okay. All right, yogis. So listen, you guys deserve a stretch now, right? So it looks like some of you are still going. There's no reason to move just because I'm going forward. How about we touch our toes, start this kind of grounding process here. Widening your feet's easier. If you want a big stretch, you can go hands behind your back. Bending your knees is also easier. Here we go. A few breaths, kind of reaching for your toes. Don't forget you can put your hands on your blocks or the floor instead. Okay, step back to tabletop. If you want a little cat-cow here, feel free. But we kind of already did stuff like that, so I'll skip it as a group. I'm going to stretch out our wrists to start. We did some good shoulders and neck, but we're lacking a little bit in the wrists. So one of my favorite little simple wrist stretches, the fingers turn outward, and then the fingers turn toward the knees. The reason I like this, yogis, is because it's hand, wrist, elbow, shoulder, and it's rotational. That's the key. It's torque too, so it's rotational. Leaning back, pressing the heel of the hand down a little bit. My palms are still down. It's just my fingers turned out and then toward my knees. Okay, fingers will turn forward. Maybe shake it out a little bit. Let's do one more wrist stretch. These are my two basics for the wrist here. The back of the right hand goes down, the palm face up. My fingers face the knees, but the back of the hand is now on the earth. I'm working on straightening the elbow, roll the crease of the elbow forward. I think everyone knows this one. Last couple breaths. Second side, please. Shaking the right wrist out, rolling it, wiggling fingers. Back of left hand down. I don't know if you could hear my little pup. She was just barking in her sleep, having a nightmare. All right, let's keep it going here, guys. I am going to teach a very brief down dog. I'm just mainly using this to stretch out the ankles. We did calf raises, but to really get into the Achilles, and that's like the right here, right where the heel meets the ankle. So I'm using it for that, and then that big inversion. So just a few breaths today. If you want to add anything, like a chaturanga might feel good, always feel free to pick it up if you're feeling strong, if this is your exercise today and it's a little too easy. Yeah, some of you shift into a plank. Nice job there. I'll leave that out as a group, all right? Listen, when you're ready, down to the knees, down to the chest. Let's do our Sphinx Pose or Cobra if you're feeling really good. Just bringing those forearms forward. We're going to do this child pose, and then basically restorative practice is going to start, okay? Big toes
do push down. You know, we do want to activate the legs here a little bit. Pull the belly up and in, lift the heart. A few breaths here, please. Big inhale. Child pose is next. Whenever you're ready, press your butt to your heels. And I'm just kind of letting you be in poses now. A little less kind of,
busyness and talk, okay? If you'd like to add something in child pose, a side bend, you can walk your hands over to the right, lengthening through your left side body. And you would come back to center with the hands, walking them to the left. Right hand might work towards the stacking on top of the left hand. All right, yogis, nice job. So for this next part, you will need, if you have blocks and a strap, if you don't have blocks, a throw pillow might do well. If you don't have a strap, sweatpants, beach towel, belt, will all work fine.
First position, restorative fish. Swinging your legs around seated. Block underneath upper back. This is usually biggest extension of class, okay? So biggest back bend, let's say, for the spine. Now, since it's late in class and we have all regulars, you can try full version, head lower than heart. So I am trying to let the head fall to the floor. If that's a little much, you can do a little pillow or a blanket, like a towel to create a little lift, or if you need the full lift, a block like we normally do. Just notice the blocks under the upper back. If you want, soles of the feet together, knees open. Arms go nice and wide, maybe angled slightly back. Nice, good 2 minutes or so here, please. Then maybe a light meditative breath into the abdomen. A little extra here in the end, you can reach your arms actively beyond your ears, okay, stretching your underarms a little bit more. Last few breaths. Now, whenever you're ready, hands might lift your head, hands might bring your knees back together. Use your core and your arms to either sit up or roll to the side. Remember, you can hold longer if you want. It's a pretty big pose there, okay? You'll remove your blocks and lay on your back, starting by bringing your knees into your chest for a moment, kind of, circling the knees, feel good movements here for a moment. Just kind of neutralizing any residual sensations. We'll meet with the knees into the chest, squeeze, and releasing your left leg, okay? You'll take that knee toward the chest, giving it a nice squeeze for wind removing posture. And then we're gonna do our strap stretching. We will do all the parts here, the 4 parts from this straight leg, all right? So left leg is gonna go straight, right leg starts to straighten. I'm gently pulling on the strap, feeling a nice stretch, elongation for the right leg. You can explore here, yogis, kind of turning your toes out and in a little bit. Kind of bending and straightening the knee, flexing and pointing the toe. Look out for things for your right side body shortening, your shoulders tensing. Okay, now remember, everything is your pace. If something feels tight, you hold as long as you need. The second part, left hand takes the strap, and you just bring your right foot over to the left 6, 8, 12 inches. You don't lift your right hip up. You're going to feel this long, kind of achy burning in the outer posterior hip leg. So it's not the twist yet. The leg just goes over to the left, about 12, maybe a little further if you're flexible. Third part, right leg comes up. Right hand takes the strap now and opens the leg wide toward the right. Pulling that right foot more toward the ear. Notice if the left hip lifts up, maybe roll it down. Notice if you're crunching the arm too much, reach down and strap more. Lengthen through your heels, lengthen through your side bodies, and breathe. No rush, please. The fourth final part is that nice twist. Right leg comes back up. Left hand grabs strap, takes right leg all the way over to the left. You might want to scoot your hips a little right. Please take your time. If you want to come back to center and pull in the center, one more time, that always might feel good. And then, before you switch sides, maybe you just release that right leg since it was a pretty long hold in all those forms. Just kind of letting the blood flow back into the leg before you switch it up. And then we'll bring the left knee toward the chest, taking a squeeze of the shin toward the chest first. And then strap around the ball of the left foot. I didn't mention it, but we want it around the mound of the foot, not deep in the arch. So right at the base of the toes, working on lengthening through your legs, flexing the feet, pulling gently. Now the second part you're going to see from this angle a little better. Right hand takes strap around left foot and takes it to the right. You know, it depends on your flexibility. 12, maybe 18 inches here. And you feel this long kind of burning through the leg. It's like revolve triangle, okay? Or pigeon. Whenever you're ready, third part, left hand takes strap around left foot, all the way open left. So we go wide now. Pulling that left foot more toward the ear. Fourth and final part is the twist. Remember, as your leg goes to the right, you might want to scoot your hips to the left.
Yogis, some of you guys want to pull in the center one last quick time. All right, so that's all flexion, right? Your hip flexors are shortening there. Your thighs coming towards your abdomen the whole time. So we do want to make sure we counter that, which is hip extension, restorative bridge. All right, so you release your leg, you'll kind of shake it out whenever you're done. And then we're going to grab the block. Now, I'm not going to do active bridges today because the first part of class was all standing, but active. If you want to do anything, that's fine. Block under your hips if you're going to stay with me, all right? So take your time. We'll move into this position. I'm going to let you kind of meditate for a good three minutes or so. Just make sure your block isn't under your lower back arch. It's kind of pulling your hips away from the lower back, actually. So you should feel kind of a slight elongation there. We just had our legs up, so you don't really need to go there, but if you want to, you can. And then also sliding your legs forward is called full or extended restorative bridge. So your feet would be about mats with distance and your legs would kind of slowly slide straight, okay? Let's relax here. Close your eyes, yogis. Enjoy it. I want you to take your time. You want to hold longer, good idea. But when you're done, a slow exit, kind of just neutralizing. Now listen, yogis, I got about 2 more things I want to do, but I want to give you a moment here for some free time. A nice thing you could do, if you want to do any other hip stretches, a quad stretch, kind of roll into your side. But I like this one here where the knees knock together and the block goes under the base of the skull. I'm just sticking with restorative approach for now. So you just kind of like rock side to side, massaging out the base of the skull. And you're going to feel this is very relaxing, and you might have some sore spots there. Again, I do have my feet wide, knees knocking together. That's a bilateral internal rotation of those hips. One more minute of your posture of choice, please. All right, yogis. So we're going to finish up with this special practice here leading into Shavasana meditation. Now, it's called Yagoda. We've done it before, where what we do in a nutshell, don't do it yet, but I'm going to cue you. You lay on your back and just lightly, you're going to take an inhale, about half, 3/4 breath. You're going to hold your breath in, and then you're going to engage every muscle in your body for like 3 or 5 seconds. And then you're going to relax, breath and body. Okay, so it's a complete active hold, full body, release completely. We're gonna do 5 rounds. Okay, so this is a really fantastic practice. Even though the beginning of practice was active, it wasn't like too strengthening by any means. So we want to do a nice kind of turn that whole body on and then relax it. Okay, so whenever you're ready, please let's start to set up. You're basically going to lay on your mat like you're doing Shavasana, arms down by side, legs, a little bit wide. And remember, we're not moving here. So it's called isometric contraction. It's contraction of the body without lengthening or shortening muscles. So say you make a fist, that's the same as bringing your knees into your chest, just in the hand. We want to try to engage the muscles without movement. Okay. All right. So let's take a big inhale to start. Nice big exhale. And then a slow inhale. Some people do full breath, but I think beginners more like 2/3, 3/4 breath. Listen, you're going to hold that breath in, engage every muscle in your body for 3, 2, 1. Release it all, breath and body. Nice. Okay, 4 more, please. Big inhale. Hold your breath and engage every muscle. 3, 2, 1. Release breath and body. There's moments of this full body intensity. Okay. Again, inhale slowly, please. Hold your breath, engage every muscle. 3, 2, 1. Release. Last 2 rounds are 5 seconds. All right. If you need a little extra breath in between, that's actually recommended as well, especially if you're new to this. Okay, so I just gave you a moment there. Last 2 rounds, please. Here we go. Big inhale. Hold your breath. Engage every muscle. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the breath and body. Take an extra breath in between. And final round. Here we go. Big inhale. Focus. Hold the breath in. Engage every muscle. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release your breath and body. Closing meditation. 5 minutes, please. Letting your mind, body, and breath all relax, melting into the floor.